Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to set goals that you will actually stick to and achieve. Now, if you're the type of person who makes New Year's resolutions but never seems to be able to follow through, this video is specifically made for you. And before I start, I just want to say, if you are wanting to set some New Year's resolutions for the upcoming year, that's totally fine. However, my advice is always to never put off starting your goals until a specific date. You're just delaying actually being productive, and that's going to make you much less likely to be motivated and jump right into it. So before we start, and all of these tips that I'm saying today, start your goals at any time. Now, I make videos on productivity and personal finance, so if you want to see more of that, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell as well. Now, my first tip, which might come across as a little bit savage, is be realistic. If you've set a goal every year for the last 5 years to get fit and lose weight and you still haven't done it, you've got to ask yourself, is this something that I would ideally like to do, that the perfect version of me would do, but realistically won't put into place? If so, don't put it down as a goal. That way you're going to fail, and you're going to get into the habit of failing goals that you never really were going to achieve in the first place, which is firstly going to discourage you from setting goals, and it's also going to make you think that you're incapable of achieving that goal, when that's not really true. The most effort you put into achieving that goal was just saying that you're going to do it. Now, secondly, I want to talk about setting 2-year goals. This is different for everyone, but for myself personally, I found that I've always had the most success when I set my goals with a 2-year time frame. So I think in 2 years' time, this is exactly what I want to be doing and what I can say that I've achieved. So personally, I rewrite my 2-year goals every 12 months. So when I'm looking through the previous year, I can say, oh look, I have achieved that, which is really great. Or I haven't achieved that, but I've still got time to do so. Or thirdly, that's not really a goal of mine anymore. Let's review that and replace that with something that's more relevant to me now. So there's really no way to lose. Either you've achieved it, you've still got time to achieve it, or it's just not on your priority list anymore. This is much more motivating than constantly feeling like you failed some kind of New Year's resolution. Okay, so let's talk about being specific and actually breaking down your goals. I'm sure at school you would have learned about SMART goals, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic and time bound, all that kind of stuff, but it actually is really, really important to break down your goals and be specific. So let's talk, for example, about the goal of making more money. That is so vague, and if you aim at nothing, you're gonna achieve nothing. So break that down. Instead, you might want to say, I want to be making $70,000 a year from my main employment, and I want to be making $5,000 a year from a side hustle. That way, you're much more specific, and it's much more easy to measure if you have or have not achieved that goal. And also, let's talk about the goal of wanting to get fit. That's the end result of the little goals that you need to be putting in place. The goal instead might be, I want to do structured exercise 4 times a week and be going on a walk or a run every day. Or let's say, for example, I want to start investing. That's quite a daunting goal, and it's really hard to know exactly where to start. So for example, instead you might say, I want to open a brokerage account and deposit $500. Then I want to purchase my first bundle of ETFs. Then I want to invest $100 regularly each month, and at the end of 2 years, I want to have $5,000 invested. These goals are much smaller, and you can kind of get a burst of motivation every time you tick one off the list, and this makes the goal just that much more attainable. This kind of relates to the idea of implementing a system to achieve your goals. James Clear said in his book, Atomic Habits, which I would highly recommend, he said, if you ignored your goal and focused only on the system to achieve it, would you still achieve your goal? So if you completely forget that you want to lose weight, but you have the little goals of working out 4 times a week and going for a run daily, would you still achieve that goal without even thinking about it? The answer is yes. You need to have the habits and systems in place to make sure that your goal will be achieved regardless. That's why it's so important to break those goals down. And if you haven't read Atomic Habits by James Clear yet, you're completely missing out, and that's probably the best way to start a new year, is to read that book. I know that I'll be rereading it this year, so I put the Amazon link down below if you want to purchase that. Now, another tip I would have, which could go against some of the common advice out there, and that is, do not tell everyone your goals. It can be really exciting to have this new vision that you want to share with everyone. However, a 2009 study published by the Association for Psychological Science has actually suggested that publicly announcing your goals makes you less likely to achieve them. The reason for this is that when you tell someone your goal, you kind of get an excitement and a sense of achievement before you've even actually put in the work, which makes your brain feel that it's already done something, when in reality it hasn't. The pride you feel from telling someone about your goal can kill the motivation to actually put in the work to achieve it. Also, you run the risk of people criticizing you or questioning your goals and sowing those seeds of doubt in your mind that might prevent you from actually getting a start, which is just not worth it. Instead, I always opt to move in silence and only share my goals with people who are also in a goal-setting mindset. So for my 2-year goals, which I reviewed last month, I did this with a friend and we kind of shared ideas, which really helped me solidify my goals. I know that I'll hold that person accountable and they'll do the same for me. So I think having an accountability buddy is far more exciting and valuable than just telling your goals to anyone who wants to listen. Now, another tip which is super crucial is to actually write your goals down. Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor at the Dominican University of California, found out that people were 42% more likely to achieve their goals simply by writing them down. I can't find the original study for this, but I've actually linked the press release from the university below talking a bit more about that study. So what I'll often do is I'll brainstorm my goals, I'll just pop them in the notes app of my phone, and then once I've completely clarified them, I'll write them down on paper as neatly as my handwriting will allow. Now the next step is to have your goals somewhere visible where you're going to be seeing them on a regular basis. So you need to be able to review your goals regularly, preferably daily. So in terms of some ideas of where you can put your goals, when I lived with other people, I just had my goals on my bedroom wall right next to where I slept. So that way every morning it was the first thing I saw when I woke up, which was really motivating. And also when I'd get home from work and I just wanted to lie down in bed and watch Netflix or just go on TikTok or something, I would look at that list of goals that was right next to me and be reminded that those goals weren't going to make themselves happen. I actually had to put in the work to do that. So I found that that was a really good place to have my goals in that situation. Now that's the bulk of my tips. So if you're watching this, I would strongly encourage you to write down your goals now. The best time to start is not December 31st. It's not next week, it's not in 6 months' time, it's today. The best time is always as soon as you can. So I've just brainstormed a few different categories that you might want to think about when you're writing down your goals. So they could be income goals, savings goals, investment goals, exercise goals, personal development goals, e.g. building confidence or making more friends, residence goals in terms of where you want to be living, what you want your living situation to look like, reading/podcast/education/learning goals, goals around building more skills, wellness and mindfulness goals, health and nutrition, personal image, experiences, and travel goals. So if you can go through all those categories and try and brainstorm a few goals for each section, you're going to have a really comprehensive list of goals that you want to be achieving in the next 2 years. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. As I said, I've got the link in the description down below to James Clear's book Atomic Habits, as well as the 2 studies that I referenced in this video. Again, I would really encourage you after watching this video to just start brainstorming some ideas in your phone of what you'd like your life to look like in 2 years' time, so that you can start taking actionable steps towards achieving those goals. If you have any suggestions for any videos or anything else you'd like me to talk about, please leave it in the comments below or message me on my Instagram, which I will link down below as well, and I'll be more than happy to talk about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya!